VO 3 is out, Google's new video update. And we're going to ask the question, is it good enough yet? Has AI video finally had its moment? We're also going to be digging into some of Google Gemini's new updates. Of course, they launched a couple of agent features. So you got to ask the question is like, oh my gosh, are we going to have some agents ready to go now? So another what if. And then lastly in the news, Cloudflare is making some big moves behind the scenes and is positioning itself to be the next Google. Find out about how all of this impacts marketers. So, welcome back to Bot Bros, a segment of the AI driven marketer where we uncover the help from the hype of all the AI news going on for marketers. I'm Dan Sanchez, and I'm joined by my brother, Travis Sanchez.
Hey, good to be back.
And let's kick it right off into VO3. Now, the news just came out a few days ago with this new video update and is blowing people's minds. I've seen like dozens of clips already coming out of this thing, and it is freaking good. And I think the big news is it's not just video anymore. It is now audio, music, sound effects, dialogue. The mouth actually syncs with the talking, whether they're holding still or on the run for it. They're talking now, and it looks really good. And there's something about it. It's like having the audio with the video just makes it feel more real.
Oh, 100%.
It's like it connects better. You're like, whoa. So what was your impression?
It's also the facial expressions when they're speaking. Of course, there's a montage of a clip where you have these obviously generated people saying, we can talk. And they just kept saying, we can talk now. And it's like two people speaking to each other. It felt so real. And at the same time, it felt like the video that Instagram released, I don't know, back in Facebook released back in 2009, where Instagram got video. Remember when Instagram was only photos? And then they released a video. It's like, Instagram has video. That's what it feels like is being released right now in their announcement video. It kind of makes, I don't know, a lot of, it's making splashes and headwinds. But I've been showing everybody. I showed my wife. I showed my friends at work. I'm like, look what's happening. And their minds were blown because they don't know, what's coming down the pipeline. So I was blown away. I think you sent me the first clip.
Oh yeah, it was like the sailor on the sea talking about the ocean.
Yes.
That looked pretty good. I mean, it was short, but it was like convincing. Like it could have come out of a movie. And a few months ago, if I had sent it to you, like I think if I had sent it to most people, they just would have thought that that clip came out of a movie somewhere.
100%.
Yeah, because it looked good. Words matched. Dialogue was dramatic.
Yep.
But even in that we can talk clip, there's some hallucinations in it.
Oh, for sure.
Where they're like they talked instead of sang, or there's just little bits and pieces that are slightly off. And you got to remember, like this is the promo clip.
Yeah,
this is a highly curated.
Yes, this is the best of the best that they've done,
and it still had problems with it. So I'm like looking at it, I'm like, oh, this is a massive step forward. But I have to ask, is this the thing? Like the ChatGPT images was definitely the thing for images. Like it still has issues. It still like typos things pretty regularly, but it's still useful enough that I see people using it all the time for social now. Like all the time. I'm using it all the time in my workflows. ChatGPT's image generator is now good enough.
I'm seeing it on my feed. I'm seeing it on my feed as I scroll different ads. This is one specific one of a guy holding a sign, but the sign's behind his head, but he's still holding it up above his head. It's like, it just doesn't really work. I'm like, people that use these images for ads and it's not perfect, I'm like,
don't do that. Yeah.
Someone's going to be
if you're going to put money behind it, it better be tightened up a little bit.
Someone will be using VO3 for ads and you'll be able to notice. And some of them will do it in a way that you go, you know what? That works. Done.
Yeah. I think like VO3 eventually, like video is going to be huge for content marketing, right? Because like all of a sudden, like marketers have access to the ability to kind of like make little short films and movies. I have friends that specialize in like really creative ads, like really creative ones that you're like, it took like a huge green screen set or a
Right.
big video backdrop
Right.
round, and they put serious time into like making Facebook ads with this stuff or just social content. I'm like, pretty soon you'll be able to prompt your way to getting there.
Totally.
And so
Even
VO3 will help us
even
do that easily.
even piece by piece, because what is a good video or even movie? It's a conglomeration of little clips put
Yeah.
together. So they only give you 6 seconds, but I'm like, honestly, I'm wondering, and I thought this yesterday before the pod, when are we going to see a full length feature? Which, if you don't know, a full length feature film, do you know the cutoff for that's only 48, 47 minutes, something around there? If it's over that mark, it is technically considered a full length feature film.
I didn't know that, but I knew the line had to be somewhere.
Now I'm curious, when are we going to see one that actually is good, from at least decent to watch and entertaining, using 6-second clips?
I don't know. Somebody will do it, but the first person, somebody's already doing it right now, but it can't be any good. So
No, probably
they
not.
probably should start remaking it all with VO3. And they'll probably be like, oh my gosh, we can actually add dialogue now.
Yeah.
Because now with VO3, it's actually possible to do something that's in the realm of doable,
Yes, agreed.
because it was impossible to do dialogue before. Now it's possible.
Right,
So you don't have to have just the money shots of slow-mo and
right.
dramatic things going
So,
on.
is this available to the public?
VO3, yeah.
It is.
There's a lot of things.
I
There's a
couldn't
lot of
find
things
it.
they announced that are still to come, and we'll talk
Uh,
about those in a second. But VO3 you can actually go and use right now, but
oh, you have to
you
pay.
need their not just their pro account. You need to go into their upper tier account to access it.
What does
You're
that
talking
mean?
$250 a month,
Oh,
which makes sense because guess what? Video is very expensive to
expensive. Yeah.
generate.
So
So right now they're doing a deal. You can get it for half off. So I think about 125 a month for 3 months,
the
which
met.
if you want to go and play with it is I think is fair game.
Oh,
Honestly, I feel because we know it costs a lot to generate these things on the back end. And if you think about how much time it takes to get any of these shots, freaking no-brainer, right? Any of these shots, 200, even the full price, $250 makes sense. Now,
this is the question: is it ready for people to really jump in to pay that money to use it even professionally? Because I'm thinking, if an organization is spotting the bill, are they actually going to get the clips that they need to create the content that they want for the company, for your, is it really
well,
that ready?
Google was smart. They bundled this with all their other stuff, you
Oh,
know.
okay.
So you get YouTube Premium with this, you know, the no ads YouTube.
Yeah.
You get 30 terabytes of video storage. So you're like, oh, like they charge about
30
$10.
terabytes? Wow.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah,
That's
terabyte.
amazing. Yeah. I mean, if you pay for a Dropbox, they give you like 10, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's 30. It's a lot. So
It's good.
I remember calculating it being worth $300 when I went and looked
All
at it
right.
yesterday.
All right.
So yeah, now we're talking
Dude,
about a terabyte.
YouTube Premium, skipping those ads.
Yeah, so like they're bundling it well. If you look at all the stuff you get, plus all the extra pro models and extra usage of all their AI stuff and like all the extra stuff, you're like, yeah, if you're a big Google homeboy, like, and you're using, if you're a Gemini power user, then no brainer, no brainer. If Gemini is your main tool and you're using AI a lot, but that's the other part. I actually like scripted this in here, but is like VO3 is amazing. You're like definitely by far best video. I mean, VO2 was the best video tool out there. VO3, obviously, like
Yeah,
now it's
it's
a step ahead
unbelievable.
its own self, right? Nobody comes close. One problem, Gemini still kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I tested it yesterday and I tested it against Claude, ChatGPT, and Grok. And I asked a simple question. I was like, tell me everything you can find out about Dan Sanchez, the marketer, because there's a lot of Dan Sanchez's out there. I gave it a clue. He's a marketer. And like even if you just Google Dan Sanchez, like I rank number 1 without the word marketer in there. So like I'm there. I'm easy to find. I've been publishing podcasts long enough that I'm around the net. But then I put in marketer just to make sure like look, if you're going to be searching Dan Sanchez marketer, it's pretty clear who you're searching for. Gemini did by far the worst, even with the knowledge graph, even with its better search capabilities. I literally ranked number one for Dan Sanchez. So I'm like, I don't know how it missed it. It's like, oh, Dan Sanchez. Yeah, here's a whole profile. I got some stuff right, but it's like Dan Sanchez, the CEO, Sweetfish Media, and the CEO of Audience Plus, which I have nothing to do with, but is a company. I've interacted with the CEO of Audience Plus. It's funny that I'm like, how does it even know that I'm in the realm of Audience Plus? I'm like, I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know. I've never even used Audience Plus, but and it gave some other details, and I'm like, wrong. ChatGPT's pretty good. It still thought I lived in Minneapolis. I'm in Nashville now. The best one by far, Grok. Claude tried but failed every time. Like it's just like error. I'm like, okay, I'll give you another
Oh,
try sometime, Claude. It tried to search me and then create a profile. It just errored out for some reason. Grok gave me like a whole Wikipedia article for my professional life,
wow.
organized, polished. I was like, what the heck? Grok crushed in this simple search. And
Wow.
this isn't deep research. This isn't thinking model. This is whatever their standard model is. I actually think for Geminis, I use their Pro 2.5 for this. Still failed. But I find that Gemini consistently sucks. So
I just don't like the user face alone. Anytime I'm trying to use some AI model from Google, I get on their page and I'm looking and I go, where do I even start? I don't even know what they want me to do. Am I supposed to click this button to get to the page where I actually start creating content or generating images? Every time, I don't, have you experienced this? The user face is awful,
yeah,
which I don't think Google's ever been notoriously known for good UAI. Is that what it's called? UAI. I try to
UI,
sound
user
UI. Oh,
interface.
I try to sound smart there for a minute.
UI, UX, just kind
UI.
of in the
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
ballpark
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. 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 Cool.
But I mean, I've been talking to lots of people about AI now. I don't think I've ever met one person that's like Gemini's my daily driver.
Oh, I had someone.
You found someone?
It
I
was
might
my. It was
have
like
found the
my
one.
person across the office from me. I'm like, what AI are you using? He's like, oh, Gemini. And it wasn't because he liked it better. It was just out of naivety. Like he was like, oh, I don't know. Should I use chat? I'm like, here, pay $20, go into this feature, set it up. He goes, oh, this is amazing. I was like, yeah, get rid of Gemini. He's like, all right. Yeah, I put him onto it.
I swear, that's the one time I've heard of somebody using Gemini as their daily thing. I mean, most people ChatGPT are like clearly. Of course, there's a few connoisseurs out there. They're like Claude all day, and I get
Yep.
it. Like Claude, it writes better. It's better at data. Claude works great. Now that I've used it more, I'm like, okay, Claude, I see you. You got something going on. It's really good. I like it. Is it better across the board on everything? No. It's got a few things that it does really well. Oh, and it codes really well. Like if I were doing a lot of Claude, I'd probably have a separate Claude subscription for sure. But I'm not doing that much, and it still gets code wrong sometimes. So,
I think users are going to
Gemini,
get really tired of us repping OpenAI. We're going to be like, yep, OpenAI is still king. They're like, we know, we get it. You like OpenAI. you,
dude,
you
I am ready to move. I am ready to move anytime.
I
Okay.
know, but we always say the same thing. We're like, I mean, ChatGPT is the best. Gemini sucks. Grok's pretty good too. Claude, okay, he's making some ground.
Well, Carl, another guest I had on here. I need to have him back on the show. Carl Ye. He was actually like one of my first guests on the show. But we chat back and forth about AI things because he's a
Yeah.
power user. I'm a power user, and he talked about like Microsoft Copilot, which is ChatGPT underneath. He's like, it kind of sucks because it has what he called, and now I'm just going to start using this as the Microsoft tax. Because when you use ChatGPT, you're getting them plus their system prompts. But when you use Copilot, you have all that plus all of Microsoft's extra stuff they load onto it, which like makes it less, it just works not nearly as well because Microsoft's trying to prompt all this extra stuff into it that slows the whole thing down, makes it dumber. The context window is not nearly as big. And they're just trying to do stuff that makes it work less well. So they call it the 30% Microsoft tax, which is why I think he's still a ChatGPT user himself, and Microsoft just tends to like to make things harder for a
Yeah,
lot of
no.
different things. So, which puts ChatGPT out in front. But Grok, honestly, continue to be impressed by Grok. So I'm not romantic about these things. If Gemini gets a lot better, I mean, I'm in Gmail, I'm in YouTube, so like, I'm like, cool. As
Oh,
much as I don't trust them, if they make a better tool, I will go to them and use them
yeah.
because I'm already using them for their other tools. We're in Chrome right now. Anyway, VO3, is it good for marketers? I'm not going to be using it. Even if it were in the $20 a month mode, would I be using it sometimes? Sometimes. Maybe for some social clips. I don't know yet. It's still not good enough to make it easy to make like the bigger things work yet.
If we were going to use 404 more as a talking face,
Oh
then
yeah.
yes, that would be great.
Then that would be really
If you have a brand representative that's not a human, it would probably be very useful. But try to replicate. I don't know how good it is at replicating faces. We've seen how bad a lot of these image generations are to replicate yourself. You just look different. Dan knows all about this. You've probably, if you've tried this, you know about this. If you send it your picture, even ChatGPT, hey, put a tattoo. I tried this one. I was like, put a tattoo on my face. And then it spit back. It just wasn't me. It was just a different person. So how
it's
good
the
is
closest right
VO3?
now is ChatGPT's.
Right. But how good is VO3 at replicating that? So many people's brands are built on a personality, whether that's the hired social media person, if it's the CEO. How good can VO3 replicate them? And if they
It can't.
can't,
I tried it with I didn't try it with VO3, but the new image gen hit and I tried that. I loaded a photo of myself. I'm like, hey, put me in a fire suit in a burning building. And you could tell it saw my image because it gave the
yeah,
guy in the fire suit
right.
of a mohawk, but it wasn't a faux hawk. It was a proper mohawk.
I'm
And
just,
the guy had like a longer Duck Dynasty style beard. It didn't
oh,
look like me
weird.
at all. It actually
Weird.
looked more like my friend Matt Schmidt, which he doesn't look like me at all if you know Matt. I'm like, yeah, I could tell that it saw my image, took a few pointers from it,
Uh huh.
and then tried to make it, but it wasn't even close. Where ChatGPT is in the realm.
Yeah, yeah, it's close. I just want to know if I wonder if State Farm will be able to replicate Jake. You know, Jake from State Farm. Now
No.
the duck from Aflac probably. You know,
Yeah.
the Geico gecko. You could probably make it.
Well, the Geico Gecko is probably in all the trading data, so it probably can.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Probably using it for like a character. That's probably where it starts to get interesting. And I think the character consistency based on some of the clips I saw, whereas like back to back using the same characters might work. Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see and test it later on. I still think even with VO3, we haven't hit our AI video moment yet. It's too expensive. It's still not quite there. Eventually we'll get there. But I think it's becoming more useful for sure,
Right.
but not quite yet.
We're pioneering. That's for sure, man.
In other news, Google launched so many new tools over this week that some of it will spill over into next week, I'm sure. But another one that stood out to me was a combo of two different tools they launched. One of them was Gemini Agent Mode, and the other one was Project Mariner. Uh, Gemini Agent Mode is interesting. It's essentially like a button they're adding to Gemini where you can have it go and do stuff for you and complete tasks across the internet, which is a lot like, well, imagine the example they gave was like, imagine you're looking for a new apartment and you
Okay.
have a friend that you want to share it with. You give them your budget, you both have, and you're like, but we need to have laundry in the apartment, or if not, then next door,
Okay.
like walking really short walk to the laundromat next door. And so it can go and do the search, find the websites, verify, if not, look for laundromats next door as it has access to Google Map data and actually go and find and do essentially deep research, but cross tool,
Okay.
not just web search results. It's interesting. They said they would be launching it very soon. I haven't seen it come out yet, but it's another step towards agent tools. And I think these things are going to start. I think by next year, this time next year, we will for sure be like, dude, what do we do without all these little agents working for us? It'll just be normal, kind of like reasoning models are normal now.
Yeah.
We've all been using reasoning models, but this time last year, the term reasoning model, we would have been like, what? I remember even last summer being like, we need the model to start reasoning. That's like a major thing that it can't do yet. So sometime they're going to start doing that. That was last summer. So Project Mariner is similar, but essentially can like run tasks for you over the browser, kind of like OpenAI's, or in ChatGPT, they have Project Operator, which is only in the pro account. You can essentially have it do tasks for you, like book reservations, go to Airbnb, and like find a house for you. And it's kind of a pain. It's really more of a preview. It takes too long to do. You'd rather just do it yourself. But it's showing you like this is what's coming in the future. Project Mariner is kind of the same thing. The one thing they added to it this time that I'm like, ooh, like this puts it in the realm of like this is it. This is where it really starts becoming exciting, is that you can train it on your own tasks. It has pre-built tasks, but I'm like, if you can record a video of you performing a task and then say, hey, this is how we update the CRM every Monday. Here's the steps. Here's where you log in. This is what you do. I'm like, that. I'm like, this is where agents really start to become helpful, when you just can like literally just walk through the steps and be like, do it like this, think about it like this step, at this step,
Uh-huh.
reason through this step, make a choice, and then move forward. That's going to be super valuable. I'm sure it's still in a place where it's like, not quite there, but it's getting like the fact that they put the train it on a task is another step towards agents that are going to be super helpful. Like you can have a whole team of agents performing the same task for you regularly, and
Right.
that's going to be sweet.
Wow. That starts opening up a whole can of possibilities when agents are actually multitask, potentially prompt generated, because then it's going to be user friendly and tweakable, because right now people have to go back in and create all these automated steps. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I'm
Automations
excited
are
to
really
see it.
hard to build,
I can't
but
even I can't even begin to be curious about what that even looks like. Will agents be so helpful for that it'll feel like second nature, like we're currently have ChatGPT?
oh, bro, I know exactly what I'd be having them do already. It's all the stuff that I'm currently having to do. Every time X happens, I have to do Y. Yeah, all that stuff. Agents are to be doing that. It's like running an internship, and you've run an internship. You know what it's like to work with 18 and 19-year olds.
Interns, totally.
You got to come up with really strong standard operating procedures. Be like, hey, this is how we do things here. This is why we do things. This is how it connects to the overall mission. Here's the here's the core value, so you know how we operate here if you have to make decisions, right? Plus, here's the step-by-step actions that you perform
Right,
every Monday, or every
right.
time X happens, you do Y. It's like running an internship. You just have to be really, really clear on what you want them to do, and they go and do it. And the good ones, once you train them on it, continue to doing it. And the ones that aren't so good, you got to follow up with some performance improvement plans. So you know what it's like. It's like working with interns. That's what I find. Except this intern knows a lot about a lot. Other news, last big one on the list. This was a little lighter one, but Cloudflare is making some big moves behind the scenes. But Cloudflare is one of those companies that if you're a marketer, you've probably heard of Cloudflare. But if you're a consumer, you definitely like haven't heard of Cloudflare. You have no idea what Cloudflare is. But would you be shocked if I told you that Cloudflare could be the next Google?
Yes,
How much do you know about Cloudflare?
very little.
What do you know?
Uh, I don't know. I mean, I was doing marketing for a long time, and I don't. You said Cloudflare, and it didn't ring any bells. So I feel like a consumer right now.
Yeah, that's okay. It's because if you haven't set up websites, even if you have, like Cloudflare is one of these behind the scenes. It's a massive company. You're probably talking like 6,000, 7,000 employees. Not Google big, right? Which I think is probably along the lines of like 80,000 employees or something like that. I could be way off on that, but it's in the tens of thousands easily versus Cloudflare's in the single digits of thousands. Cloudflare kind of powers, I'm going to say 40% of the internet.
Okay.
All kinds of tools. It's more for like web developers. I use it to run, I register all my domains through Cloudflare now, and I run all my DNS through Cloudflare. Like GoDaddy, all the stuff GoDaddy does, Cloudflare does all that stuff, plus a lot more, a heck of a lot more. It's
Wow.
website caching. It caches the internet, makes the whole internet run faster. It's a really big company, but they're starting a project because they're seeing a chance to be the middleman now, where Google was a middleman for a lot of different people. And I don't mean for search, but Google made the economics of the web run, right? Because a lot of the search is filled up with blogs and content. But
Right.
what made people want to create all that content? Well, because they knew if they could get traffic, they could put ads on there. Who powers the ads? Google, right? So Google is the one powering a lot of the economies of the web around search, but around content. And that's what makes the like the internet go round. That's what makes it has a supply and demand thing. Kind of like Airbnb. You have to have the homes, but you have to have the people who want to who want to rent the homes, right? It's a two-sided marketplace. Google is now it has been the biggest provider of that two-sided marketplace on the internet for video, for web content. They have the ad side for the marketers to come in and bid on the ads, and then they make it worthwhile for all the creators. They're the best at doing this. But what happens when traffic isn't flying around the web anymore? When all the traffic dies because AI can answer all your questions, who pays for the content? Right now, the big providers like Washington Post and all those guys are cutting out deals with OpenAI, and OpenAI is now starting to license their material. Well, that's great for the big providers, but what about all the small providers who have blogs, even large blogs?
Right.
Well, you're still not big enough to work out a deal yourself with OpenAI, but guess who is? Cloudflare. So Cloudflare is thinking about becoming the person that all the small players work through, and then they negotiate for you, not individually, but like they negotiate the whole chunk and then work as the marketplace in the middle for your light content to get licensed, images, video, text, so that the more stuff you're putting out there that gets used by AI systems, the more you actually get paid, and they become the middleman for the internet.
Wow.
Why is that important for marketers? I'm not even sure yet, but when big things like this shift, it changes how the whole internet works. It's something to be aware of. So that was kind of a deep dive into Cloudflare and their big bet. I'm like, dang. When I read about this, because they've made statements saying like, yeah, we're thinking the economy of the internet's going to change, and we want to be a part of that. And then people are guessing about what they're going to do. I'm like, yeah, that's a high likelihood that Cloudflare would do something like that. That means advertising and the whole how the whole internet runs is up for grabs right now because AI is changing all of it. Anyway, if you are a nerd like me and want to dive into the background on that, you can go to the link in the description about the Search Engine Land article where I found this whole thing. So that's it for our news segments. Let's dive into the sponsor of this episode, which of course is High Level. Bro, and I got to tell you, I'm building something in High Level that I'm like, gosh, I hope I get this episode out next week, that I feel like is a game changer. I'm essentially building something in High Level. It's essentially a dynamic sales sequence using AI to like customize every single sales email for the person coming in. And I'm doing it just on a few pieces of information. One, I have a question that qualifies the person, so only the right people get into the sequence, but then takes just the basics like job title, what they sell, who they sell to customize the sequence so that every single email speaks directly to their needs, their problems, their audience, and what they care about. I'm now reading the stuff because I'm testing it and running fake people through it. I'm like reading it. I'm like, this is so much better.
Really?
I don't have to speak. You don't have to write sales copy that speaks just to the generals of why a persona is. Like, don't have to do that anymore. You don't have to even do like segments. You could do one-to-one with it now. Of course, it takes some more advanced prompt engineering. I feel like I'm not even prompt engineering. I'm like, I'm calling it, and I've seen other people say this before, but I'm calling it programmatic prompting. Okay. Where you're like, you don't even know what the prompt's going to be necessarily, because it's always going to be different, because you're programmatically putting in the merge fields of the values of the prospect coming through. So you don't know what the result's going to be, because like there's a variable that you don't know. But it's, for my nerd brain, it's kind of fun to build out. But I'm like, man, this is the kind of stuff you could do in high level. People have no idea. I don't even think most high level users know you could do this. So I'm excited to publish it and start getting people into it. Because again, we talked on like the AI dark side that AI is highly persuasive.
Yeah.
And it's really good at this. You do like, I don't think this is so persuasive that I'm gonna like manipulate the heck out of people into buying things with it. But I will say the emails hit different when it's customized just for you, and it knows the AI. You feed enough of the AI, like where they came from in the sequence and what the thing they're trying to sell is. It's pretty good at building a bridge from where they came from, who that target audience is, even with just a few pieces of information. And this is the product. It's really good at connecting all the dots in just one email and then just sending it one to
Wow.
one. It's like the new, I think we'll all be doing this soon, but I'm excited to break some ground on that. Anyway,
It sends it sends an initial sales email essentially that's customized to the information that you've put in, that they've
yeah,
put in.
this sequence is like made to come after like a lead nurture sequence of some
Right.
kind, or
Right.
like you put out a lead magnet, then you send a few emails after that. This is the one I'm working on right now. The first email is like the first email after that, kind of like, hey, you just did this, awesome, this is what we love about this, but let me tell you about, and then it starts the offer, and then there's more emails that come afterwards. But
Wow.
the way it can customize it is insane. So if you're
Wow.
interested in high level and want to get access to that sequence, because I'm going to put out this whole sales sequence, the templates, the full automation, you can go to AI automation vault.com is where I'm keeping all this stuff. And I'm just publishing it out there for free. I already got one in there. Tomorrow, next week, so I'm going to put the sales sequence in there. I'm just going to keep putting stuff behind the vault. Of course, you need high level for it. They're the sponsor of the show. So come on, we know how this works. But I am incentivizing it and making it really, really good to want to sign up for high level. So that's my job. I'm a marketer. Don't apologize for it. So moving on to the next segment, everyday AI. Trav, you've been using AI for some fun stuff, maybe for LinkedIn.
Yeah, so people that don't know, I have an Airbnb, and one of my tenants said the grill wasn't working. I thought it was a propane tank. I was over there today getting it ready for the next guest and just flicked it on to make sure the grill was working, and it wasn't. It was just sputtering, full tank of gas, propane, and it just was making funny noises like it was barely flame was coming out. And I didn't know that propane tanks have those little silver things that attached to the tank is called a regulator, and if the regulator needs to be reset, I didn't know that. So I'm just talking to chat, explaining what my problems are, and it's like, you probably need to reset the regulator. It chat, and then it told me what to do, and I couldn't quite figure it out, but it gave me the language to then go look up on a YouTube video of like the best way to reset a regulator. I didn't find out that much more on the YouTube video. Chat was right. It did give me the exact prescription of what I needed to do. So I just basically repeated that a couple times until it fixed it. That's literally everyday use. AI
Oh
helped
man,
me fix my grill for my Airbnb, which is wild.
I don't get it. I don't get why people push back on using ChatGPT for this stuff. They're like, it hallucinates. I'm like, yeah, but I don't know. I'm like, what? I don't know what to call the rate. Like 4 out of 5 things that I'm having it help me fix seems like they're
Yep.
getting fixed. Maybe 9 out of 10. I
Yep.
don't know. Like I'm not keeping a track record of like what's right and what's wrong, but it feels like I'm getting unstuck a whole lot more and a whole lot faster when I
Yep.
have AI help me do stuff. I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know what to tell you. Recently, I just get curious and I because it's so helpful at answering questions more and more. Anytime I have like I wonder, I'm like, I don't have to wonder. Just ask ChatGPT. I'm still in this battle with trying to fight the weeds in my lawn, and I'm in like the next step where I'm like, okay, ChatGPT, I've done X, I've done Y. Like, what's the next step? I still have a lot of weeds in my lawn, and it's like, okay, well, first we did this, and then we did this. Now we need to buy some, like, we need to nuke this thing because you have a lot of clover in your lawn. So you need this. I'm like, well, where can I get that? It's like, well, best place would be a co-op. And I'm like, well, I have a co-op in town, but
What's a co-op? Is
what
that a
is a
store
co-op?
brand? Yeah,
No,
yeah.
there's literally like, I live out in the Farmsville, man. I live out in like, I say I live in Nashville. I actually live like a 30-minute drive outside the metro. Like, you have to drive through Farmville and then you get to my little town. So there's this store called Co-op. And I'm like, okay. Like, I always drive by it, but it's kind of like a weird, they fix cars there. They have a bunch of like a compost, or I don't know, like they got like all farm stuff. And I'm like, I don't know. I've been in there, but I just don't really go there. But I sat outside. I was about to go inside to go find the weed killer stuff. And I'm like, okay, ChatGPT, just real quick, what the heck is a co-op anyway?
Okay.
Is this a store? Like, is this a brand? I could see the little R symbol next to the word co-op, but I'm like, co-op's kind of a general term. Like, what is this? And it just gave me a nice little description, like, oh yeah, I can see why you'd be confused by this. But it's actually more of like a conglomerate. It's its own thing. Like, all the Tennessee farms get together and build these co-ops so that they have buying power to buy all the stuff that they need at a much lower price. Because if there's a bunch of these co-op stores around your state, it's probably state run, then all the farmers can buy goods at an affordable price. They're cooperatively running these stores, and there's probably a management company that's running all of them, so that you can get pretty good prices for the stuff that normally you couldn't get. So it's like an alternative to Tractor Supply quote, like a Tractor Supply store,
Yeah, or Baumgars.
but it's not. It's not. It's more of like a nonprofit, but not quite. It's its own like little business entity
Interesting.
and organization. So that's a co-op,
Interesting.
and I'm like, huh. I probably could have figured that out on Google, but ChatGPT just got right to the heart of it. But because it even knew like where I lived and stuff, it's like, yeah, it's probably run by the Tennessee Co-op Association, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, interesting. And
Wow.
it's like, you don't have to wonder anymore. Like, you can understand the context of things much quicker with AI.
Wow.
What? Give me another one, Trav.
I needed a background image for my LinkedIn profile and I just didn't like what they were feeding me. I couldn't find the right image. Like, what do you put back there? You know what I mean? I'm like, so I just had an idea of a flat top layout image of different things that I'm into. So I was just like, just create this for me. And after a couple iterations, it spit one out. And that's currently what's on my LinkedIn profile.
Yeah. And it looks good. Like,
I
I just
know.
saw it when I was looking at your profile, and I figured it was made with AI, but it looks good. I actually need to change mine. So I'm like, dude, I think I need to do the same thing. But 404's in it, looking good.
I know.
Oh, it's got an image of you in there too. What the heck? Do you feed it that?
I may have edited that in afterwards.
Oh, okay. I'm like, there's no way it looks this good.
I fed it an
It's
image
got like
and I
a
was like,
family photo in there.
put this image in there and then put an image of the mountains and then it put an image in there, but it wasn't my family, I'll tell you that.
You use Canva to edit that out. Yeah, but I see like a drone. It- We need to
No, I don't.
change it.
Okay, secret. I don't actually like Canva. It's so annoying.
Is it? I hear
Ca-
good things
ca-
about it, but I've been such a Photoshop user. I haven't really like
I
gone over there.
I used to use this app on my phone called like Insta Studio or something. It was bought by GoDaddy and now it's called just Studio on my
Uh-huh.
it is the most, this isn't a plug, I'm not sponsored. It is the most user friendly iPhone app to edit photos or to layer things. Canva on the phone, I want to punch myself in the face. I'm like, why? This app is not intuitive. When I go, okay, I think I want to click this and then zoom in, it does something totally different. It's like every time I think of doing something, this other app called Studio, man, if I want to edit a quick image or add or layer, it's intuitive. It does exactly what I think it will do if I press this button. Anyways, not a
I am
plug.
downloading this app right now because I haven't found an editing app that I actually like. All of Adobe's suck.
Suck.
Every
Yeah.
time I want to try it, they suck. I'm like, nope, nope, never again. I'm like, sorry, Adobe. Like, I haven't actually tried. I should probably try it, at least try it again
Yeah.
sometime. But I'm like,
Yeah.
I've been burned so many times on Adobe's mobile apps, and I'm like, nah.
It's
I'm gonna
probably
go find this one
it's
studio.
it's a simple app, but it gets the job done for some things that I need. Anytime like, oh, I need to, I go, oh, I'll just open up the app and do it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to try this because the AI images are good. Sometimes I'll be on the go doing it on my phone, but then I need to go back to open up Photoshop. But sometimes the edit you need is really simple, And it sounds
Right.
like this one can work for that. So
Yeah. It's literally like, oh, I included this image. I had another photo, dropped it in, squared it up, and
yeah,
export
and you're done on the phone.
on the
Okay,
phone. That's,
that's good
man,
to know.
if I can find something on the phone,
Well,
love
it's
it.
hard to edit. It's hard to do any professional work like that on the phone
Totally.
because your fingers are, stubby things, and that's
Uh-huh.
more precision work. So that's hard. One thing I did this weekend, and I posted about it. This one went semi-viral. Like I had 20,000 views on this post of this thing I did with ChatGPT. Is I took a picture of my guest room, which I've been trying to make the room adventurous. Like I have these like rustic rope weird lights.
Oh, yeah.
It's like one of those things where you like screw the light bulb into the rope, or it looks like it. It's got the cord hidden underneath. It's wrapped around some bamboo. I got a big vintage looking map on the wall. I got some interesting decor in there, but it's not finished. And for years, I've just like, how do I finish this room? How do I like put a bow on it? Like, what color should I paint the walls? Like, did I make the good choice? I took a picture of it and I just told ChatGPT, make this room look more adventurous. And then it gave me an image with all the little extra finishes and paint colors and
Really?
a different like curtain on the wall that was more of like that rustic bamboo looking thing. It just tied everything up. It put a nice rug on there, like a southwestern, like that southwestern like Indian like Navajo style rug, in a way that I was like, oh, I never would have thought to do that. It just put a bow on it. It just made it look good. And I'm
Wow.
like, dang. So I put a before and after picture and posted it on LinkedIn. And people were like, whoa. I had a few people saying, oh, how could you use AI to do this? Of course. You're taking someone's job. I'm like, bro, I was never going to hire an interior decorator to help me finish the room. But I've been stuck on this for 2 years now. And now ChatGPT just finished it for me. I even had it say, hey, go find me all these items on Amazon. And it made me an Amazon list. It
Aw.
wasn't always right because it can't always determine like style on color when it shops for you, but it was dang close. Like it found me the rug, but it wasn't quite the right colors as the one in the image. So I went and found one and put it on my shopping list. But it found me it had a leather pillow, found me that, and it was exactly what it had in the photo. I was like, dang, wish list. It's done. So not only did it complete the room for me, but it actually created a shopping list for me on Amazon, which was awesome.
Everyday
Moving on,
AI.
moving on to the poll of the week. I asked a funny question this week. I said, I put out a poll and said, do you joke around with AI? And then I put in the post itself, it's like joke around as in like you make jokes and you laugh at each other kind of thing, like that kind of joke. And the options I gave people were: 1, all the time; 2, sometimes; 3, it's happened; 4, never; 5, people do that. The results that people voted on, it was actually pretty well spread across. Like
Yeah. Pretty
23%
even.
said all the time, 31% said sometimes, 13% said it's happened, 19% said never, 15% said people do that. And we had 151 votes across this. So, Trav, where are you at?
Was it you that sent me the video of the girl running up to a billboard of ChatGPT? It's just a billboard, like it was an ad on the side of a bus stop, and she runs up. She's like, "When you see your best friend on the street," and she goes and hugs the billboard. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's so funny."
No, I haven't seen
Humor
that. Was it
humor
funny?
is like the beginning of friendship, right? Like when you start laughing at something, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, people becoming friends with ChatGPT."
Yeah.
um, have I joked around with it? I feel like it has made jokes at me, but I don't joke back to it, like send it back a pun or a little jab, just because it's not really alive. So
Oh,
it's,
dude, I do it. It's hard for me, and I have it set to like a light humor mode. So like it will take shots at me in a playful way, and it's hard not to like swing back and do it.
do you really? I never know
Yeah,
how to
dude.
do it.
It's like instinct. It feels weird not to. Like one time, I was doing a deep dive on like why people like Diet Coke because I just didn't understand, and so we got into it, and it's like, well, what do you like drinking? And I was like, literally at the time we were having the conversation, I was like, I took a picture of it. It was a LaCroix, and it just totally took a jab at me for drinking LaCroix. But it's remembered that conversation. It's not in the memories, but it's in the past conversation. So it's taking previous shots at me for being a LaCroix drinker.
Really?
Yeah. And then I just slam it for something else that it's done that's stupid. I don't know. Like, or like the fact that I tell it to not use M dashes so much because it is a little crazy on the M dashes, that little extended hyphen line. And it'll be like, there, it'll joke around with me and be like, there you go. And it's M dash free. You M dash Nazi, or something like that. I'll be like, they're like, if you didn't use so many M dashes, ChatGPT, I wouldn't have to ask you to stop using them.
Wow.
Anyway, so yeah, it's happening, but it's probably because it would happen. It would hardly ever happen if I didn't have the humor mode set on, because I'm just reacting to it. But no, a lot of people have fond feelings of ChatGPT.
Uh-huh. That's that emotional connection.
All right, and viral post of the week. Sam Altman posted on Twitter. There's a lot of different things we could go on as far as viral post of the week, but I figured we'd finish with this one because enough people have probably seen it that they have questions about it. To me, I'm just like, whatever, but let's talk about it. Now, normally when Google has a big event like the one they had this week with their I/O conference, Sam Altman and OpenAI ChatGPT will come in and try to steal all the news. So they launch new features. That's what happened last year. 4.0 came out with its voice tech and a bunch of new stuff came out for ChatGPT last year. This year, they stole the news in a different way. I was hoping for new features, but we just got a very ambiguous announcement. But essentially, Sam Altman posted about they're partnering with Jony Ive, and they bought his company called IO to begin working on their own physical product. So OpenAI is building a hardware product that will be different from a phone or a MacBook or
Oh
anything.
man.
You saw this video,
I
right?
did. I watched the whole thing. It was very, I don't know. How would you describe that video? It was like romanticizing San Francisco, romanticizing Silicon Valley with this ethical response and the clarity of uh, ethical desires for the future of technology, which is why they're joining teams to bring new features. It was like, whoa, okay.
It's
Did
a
you find it that way? I mean, it was like
it's like a 9 minutes and 22 seconds where they said a lot and at the same time said
said
almost nothing.
nothing.
So it's like total romance.
Yeah,
We're announcing the partnership. And if you don't know who Jony Ive is, he was like the lead designer, the
for
head designer
MacBook.
for Apple back when they were putting out hit after hit. So he designed the iPhones. He designed the MacBooks.
What does that
He
mean?
designed
He
the
designed the
desktop
hardware, he designed the software, he
hardware.
designed just hardware.
Not even like the technical. He's not an engineer. He's a designer. He's the design. He's the one who designed like the look and feel, and I guess like the way you approach it. And probably had to speak into software too, as far as like the design experience of it. And Steve Jobs worked with him like personally. So the guy's famous for being one of the like most legendary designers, product designers of all time, because Apple's known for its design. This is Jony Ive is now going to work. And of course, Jony Ive has recruited some of the best designers out of Apple and a bunch of engineers. And so he's got a team that's now going to be working for OpenAI to build a product.
Okay.
They said nothing about what the product was, but they did announce some more details in the internal team meeting. And one of the team meetings
Got leaked?
sent the audio. It got leaked to the press. I found it
No.
this morning. I was like, freaking yes. Give me
No.
some details.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Sam
gosh.
Altman's got to be pissed about this now.
Oh my
Big.
gosh.
So there not a lot of details. They didn't say a lot in this meeting, but what we do know now is that this is a separate device. It is not a wearable. It is not a phone. It is not a laptop, but it is a separate device. It can fit in this it's at least pocket size. They're like you can take it with you. It can fit in your pocket. This is made to not be a replacement for your phone, but in addition to it, and is likely to be something that you have sitting on your desk. Okay. So I imagine if it fits in your pocket, it's hard to beat the shape of a phone. So it's got to, but like if you think of like the wearable devices they have now, of like have you seen the wearables, like the little pins and brooches looking things that like are kind of recording? You can talk to the AI essentially.
I've seen videos for it, but I haven't seen anyone actually like rock it.
I've
What is
never actually
what
seen one in person. I think some of the speakers that I was talking to at the Social Media Marketing World Conference had them and were using it to
the closest
different.
thing I've seen is the Meta glasses.
Yeah, and Meta glasses. It's not going to be glasses. They're making a standalone device. My guess is it's going to be packed with sensors to be seeing things, and there's going to be no screen on this device. It's just voice. So I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of sensors on it, cameras, so it can see things, it can hear things, and of course, the main mode of of operating with it is going to be voice. And my guess is that it's pretty much just going to be a personal assistant that's always on that you can take with you to places and kind of sits at your desk and becomes a whole new way of interacting with the internet. That's all we know.
I mean, I'm glad we know more than we did after that video because my gosh,
They're
there
like,
was
this is going to change the world. Jony Ive was like, I feel like all my work in my life has prepared me for this moment. You're like, and no, nothing.
no
It'll be
nothing.
out sometime in 2026. You're like, that is freaking eternity in AI time. Since there's so many updates, like, okay, sometime next year, not even in the beginning of the year, like
No.
sometime in 2026, it could be like a year and a half away. But cool. I'm like, why does this have to be separate from a phone? I guess because OpenAI doesn't really have access to a smartphone, right? Like Google could do this, Apple could do this, but since Apple's stumbling the heck,
I don't
like
even know
it's
what
really
Apple's doing, man.
screwed up royally with AI, I'm like, this could just be a phone. Like, why does this have to be a separate device? Oh, I know why it has to be a separate device because Apple screwed it up.
What do you
So
mean?
because this like what they're building Apple could just do because we already have the device on our like I don't this doesn't even stay in my pocket. This stays
On my
on my
desk.
desk.
Always.
It's already
Yeah.
sitting there. It's already loaded up with sensors. Why do I need a separate device? Well, because OpenAI doesn't have any hardware. So they're limited based on what you can do within an app with Apple or with Google.
Is this a play for Jony Ive and Sam Altman to get into more of a relationship with Apple? Because if Apple's like, oh crap, this our best designer and the leading founder of, OpenAI is trying to make a device, like we need to.
I don't know. I think they don't want to play by the limitations of what they have to do to be just an app on a phone. I think they just want to control the whole experience. And they don't want to start with a phone because that's old tech. I think they're thinking voice is going to be the next thing. Sam Altman has said himself that voice will be a layer of how we deal with AI. Like, and it makes a lot of sense. You look at like Jarvis from Iron Man, I think is a great picture of how AI will work in the future. Like, it'll be a voice that isn't tied to a specific device or a screen, but it has access to all of them. That's going to be AI in the future. I think what you see in Iron Man with Jarvis is probably the closest picture to like what we will have just a few years from now.
Which I was talking to a buddy at work and he goes, who uses the voice feature on ChatGPT? I said,
Me?
every day. He
All
goes,
the
no, you
time.
don't. And then the next person who also uses AI frequently, he goes, yeah, every day. I'm like, yeah, dude, I don't know where you're living. And he's like, oh, well, just so dumb. I'm just like, bro, just wait until the voice feature remembers, or not remembers, but has the personality that we've set it up for the written text. Like that's where it'll be a game changer, where it starts to talk to you like Sesame does,
Yeah.
sesame.com. My gosh.
When it's that. And then what you really want is have it always on. You don't have to turn it on. It's just always on. And then you could be reading an email and be like, "Oh, hey, ChatGPT, can you set a reminder real quick for this? Oh, there's a block there. Yeah, no, cancel that. Put it on the other thing. No, this is more important. Cool." And then you just dive back into the work. It's going to be like that constant, always on, as if you have an executive assistant that's like
Right.
always sitting
Right.
ready to hear that you could just delegate to, like bam, bam, bam. Hey, can you write an email? Can you remind so and so? Hey, can you add a task? Hey, hey, I just saw this error on the website. Can you go and fix that real quick? Thanks.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
no, you're gonna be throwing things, and it's gonna be through voice because it's faster than texting. It's faster than anything,
Right.
and it's just always gonna be on, and then it'll go back into quiet
Man,
mode.
this is great for us verbal processors. Wow.
Dude, it's
Amazing.
great for nonverbal processors because it's faster.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
I'm not a verbal processor, but I love delegating via
oh my
voice.
gosh. I know, but so much of what Siri and Apple has tried to create with even saying like, "Hey Siri," to get the thing to pop up for it to be a
Oh gosh.
non-touch, but Apple has just screwed it up so bad.
Yeah. I don't know what Apple's gonna do. I'm so curious to see what they announce in their next dev conference in June. I'm like, what are they gonna announce? They haven't shipped what they announced last year.
Oh, bro. Is this the
Like, what are they
beginning?
gonna say? Hey, this year we're announcing that next year we're actually gonna deliver what we said we were gonna do
Uh-huh.
last year. I'm like, it's gonna
Uh-huh.
be the shortest dev conference of all time. So what are they gonna do?
We're not just announcing, we're actually shipping. Yeah.
But what are they going to say? Like they already have Apple Intelligence, so are they going to announce new things? That but they're like, are they going to put new things? Like I don't know what they're going to say. Like, what are they going to do? I don't know. We'll see. But they can't go and buy anybody that's ahead. I don't know. I guess they could. They could go buy the France chatbot, Le Chat.
What? I don't even know
Yeah,
what you
no, France has an AI team. I think it's called Le Chat.
Okay.
Le Chat. Yeah,
Oh man. I
go buy somebody.
oh man.
Figure it out.
Well, we potted it. Now it's time to cast. Is that is that a good ending or
I think our new ending is coming up with an ending until we find it, and then
Okay,
we'll
great, great,
we'll
great.
be like,
Listen,
"Hey,
we
that's the
filmed the
new ending."
pod. Now we're gonna cast it. Go ahead and listen.
No, but
Yeah.
seriously, if you're listening to this ramble at the end, then if you at least made it this far, please, then you must really like the show. If you made it all the way to the end, can you please just go give it a thumbs up on YouTube and or give it a 5-star rating on whatever podcast app you're on. It makes a big difference for the show. Come
Are
on,
we
come on.
are we shouting out my LinkedIn profile? Is that something that's happening?
Yes, Easter egg. Travis is now on LinkedIn. I mean, we were talking about it earlier, but what's the URL? It's linkedin.com/in/Travis404.
Travis 404.
Travis is now on LinkedIn. People have been DMing me being like, Dan, you and Travis, where's Travis on LinkedIn? I'm like, he's not here, but now he is. And find him, connect with him, give him a shout out.